Okay, so if we truly want to blame someone or something, okay, now I'm going to go over this again. I'll tell you why. Because why we have so many different diseases. Okay, and forget the vaccine industry for a minute. But why we have so many different diseases is because we have mutations in whatever the first disease of that specific organ withstood. Okay, so I'm just going to take an example of tuberculosis and of, the canary in the coal mine. And I'm taking to the coal mine is because when you truly want to know who is decimating humanity, it's the unhealthy people. The unhealthy people are mutating these diseases into offshoots of different types. And so let's take it for an example. You're in a pristine community. Okay, there isn't any kind of cancer, disease, and chronic illness. You just take these humans that were plucked from the jelly juice world. They're not doing jelly juice, okay? Just so you know, just pretend they're not doing jelly juice. And so they're 100% perfect, viable human beings. Pretend they're Adam and Eve, okay? And then you go put them in a coal mine situation. So they're exposing themselves to coal dust, which is all these negative elements that they're breathing in. And yes, let's say they know about the canary in the coal mine type of thing. So when the canary dies, they realize that there's too much toxicity in the environment, and they need to leave that because there's a escape of negative elements that would then overwhelm and kill. So if a canary dies in the coal mine, then everybody, all the humans need to get out so they don't die. Okay? So the canary dies and everybody gets out of the coal mine. They're like, okay. So then they go in and they go test it out again. The canary, another canary is then put in there and the canary lives. So they go back in there again and do whatever. Okay. So now you start then, okay, so now these people that used to be on jelly juice who are not doing it anymore, they're eating whatever foods are eating out there. They're starting to see degradation. Then all of a sudden you start seeing tuberculosis, which happens from too much inhalation of negative elements. It's attacking their lungs. So what happens? Okay, so they get tuberculosis, and then here's the thing, they don't fix the mutation. So they have this tuberculosis, they're trying to treat it with who knows what. They're passing around to everybody in their community because it's a pathogen now. Now it's contagious because they're in the inflammation stage and it's being shed. All of those antibodies and viruses and whatever is being shed, and so everybody in the family gets it. So now everybody in the family sustains a mutation. Okay, so they may get over, but now they're mutated. And then guess what? They're having kids. And so these kids then get a mutated gene that is going to impact their lungs. They may not have tuberculosis anymore because the body adapted and they're in remission of sorts. The body adapted, but the mutation is still present. So then that gets passed down to the next generation, and then you see all the different lung diseases, okay? So first of all, there's different types of tuberculosis. There is, just so you know, there's different types of tuberculosis. There's active TB disease, which is where it's actually where you are sustaining that inflammation, and it's the bacteria are rapidly multiplying and invading different organs of the body. So it's all over. I mean, your body is being totally overwhelmed, okay? And of course, you're doing drugs, or somebody's doing drugs to manage it. And then there's another military TB. Military TB is a rare form of active disease that occurs when TB bacteria find their way into the bloodstream. In this form, the bacteria quickly spread all over the body in the nodules and affect multiple organs at once. This form of TB can be rapidly fatal. Oh, wow. And then you have the latent TB infection. Many of those who are infected with TB do not develop overt disease. So they have the antibodies, but they don't have the actual agglutination where it turns into a virus and it destroys everything, right? They have no symptoms, okay, which means that they are probably negative for TB, but they have the antibody still. And their chest x-ray may be normal. The only manifestation of this encounter may be reaction to the tuberculosis skin test, which I've done, where I had to put those little thingies on that. If it comes up something, then it means you have it, or it means you don't, whatever, okay? Okay, So, however, there's an ongoing risk that the latent infection may escalate to active disease, no different than HIV turning into AIDS, right? So the risk is increased by other illnesses such as HIV, oh wow, the immunodeficiency, or medication which compromises the immune system, which means that when you have an ongoing risk that latent infection may escalate to active diseases when those antibodies are not going after those pathogens, and those pathogens are still in your body. And it could be in the blood, the AB blood type, because you have antigen in your blood. So if you have antigen in your blood, it could potentially, then cause more antibodies, which then compromise the body. But are also, well, actually not that. Scratch that. All right. So anyways, what happens is that when you have those mutations and you don't have the antibodies present, then those mutations are going to destroy the body. Okay? Because it's pathogens. So anyways, risk by other illnesses such as HIV and medication which compromises the immune system. To protect against this, the United States employs a strategy of preventative therapy or treatment of latent TB infection. So it's holding the antibody, and antibody could come to surface based upon the imbalances of your body. And so, yeah, I mean, the AB positive blood types, and then also illnesses. So yeah, if you've been HIV positive, then yeah, you're not going to be creating enough antibodies to go after that. Okay, which then will then trigger the disease. And then other medications. Okay, so that's TB, which has different types of TB. Then I'm looking for tuberculosis types. Well, tuberculosis may be regarded in two categories: active disease or latent infection. And TB is lung disease. I'm like, oh, lung disease. Well, what other types of lung disease is out there? Different types of lung diseases. So these are mutations of whatever the first lung issue is. I'm talking about tuberculosis as an example because that's a pretty aggressive disease. But maybe that could have been as a result of asthma or bronchial, swelling and inflammation in the main passage, like bronchitis, COPD, which people get when they are part of like asbestos or other types of inhalants that are really bad for them, lung cancer, pneumonia. I mean, you look at all the different lung diseases, those are mutations from some disease that first came upon humanity and infected the lungs. And then guess what? Every generation having mutations are not fixing the root cause, fixing the mutation. So these diseases then mutate into different offshoots of each other. So if you really want to blame somebody, if you really truly want to blame somebody for all of these diseases and why we have to get vaccinations, look around you. It's you. Your unhealthy body, the aging that you have, and then you're having children who've mutated those strains into another different strain, of which then would warrant this. And then people they're getting now, either way, whether or not you get injected, but you be exposed no matter what, because there are people that don't take care of themselves. People that don't take care of themselves at all, and they're not pro-vax and they're not anti-vax, they just don't take any vaccines, or they take a bunch of vaccines, or they're exposed to a bunch of people who've been vaccinated, or they just don't take care of themselves because they're aging rapidly and the kids already have mutations because they were never corrected. Guess what? They are the ones that are creating this. They're the ones that are creating the long list of diseases that we have. Humanity, when they are reproducing, not fix the mutations, and their kids are totally pathogenic, guess what? They're the ones that are creating these long lists of vaccinations and long lists of mutations and all these different offshoots of the different diseases. So if you truly want to blame somebody, if you truly, truly do, blame yourself in your belief system that people should die, because death comes mutation. Death is a mutation. The trajectory of death is the body mutated to where things are shutting down, and the strains in your body and all the antibodies that are agglutinating, and you're also coming in contact with pathogens that are mixing with your biochemistry, and you're shedding, and you're having children. Guess what? You are patient zero. But you don't know who actually is patient zero, because you won't know from one day to the next if you've actually mutated that strain that you've been exposed to. Don't even know you could be a carrier. Everybody could be a carrier of an antibody. It could be latent in your body and you wouldn't even know it unless you got a titer test. See, titer test is the accountability for humanity. Titer tests are actually the accountability for humanity, because now you will see who truly is pathogenic and who will be the one. When you're testing positive for every single disease that's out there, you are now going to be creating another disease. See, so if you want to blame someone, blame the unhealthy people, whether it's mental illness, whether it is aging, whether it is whatever disease that you're managing with cannabis or something else. You truly want to blame someone for the long vaccine schedule, blame your grandparents. Blame your parents who are so unhealthy. Blame you who are so unhealthy. Yeah, but do you really want to go there? Do you really want to blame yourself? Do you really want to blame your grandparents? Do you really want to blame your neighbors who are super unhealthy? Nope, you don't want. You want to come from education. Because there's no point in blaming anybody because the situation isn't being resolved. Blaming the chemtrails, blaming the government ain't going to resolve the issue. The government's only reacting to people's putting their head in the sand. It's the unhealthy people who are not taking care of themselves that are spreading all of the diseases, and they are creating new ones. Because remember, we have 24 different strains of the measles. Why? Because every single generation doesn't take care of the mutations, the root cause. It's the mutations. If we stopped mutate, if we actually reverse the mutations, so we have the antibody, yes, but we also reverse the mutations, and we didn't allow those antibodies to agglutinate and to then shapeshift into something else, we wouldn't have new diseases. But the fact that you can't legislate morals and get people healthy, and the fact that they're all about the cannabis and the drugs, then yeah, we're going to have this kind of reaction from the CDC. They're actually reacting to humanity who is completely unhealthy. Their intention is not to destroy you. Their intention is to react from your ignorance. So if you truly want to blame somebody, blame the unhealthy people in your family. But you don't want to go there, right? You're trying to help your family. You don't want to blame them. But if you truly want to be personally accountable for your part in the matter, get your ass healthy 100%. Drink the J juice. Get off your activism because it ain't helping you. It ain't helping your family either. Okay, so you are who are those of you who are aging, you are contributing to the new mutations in these strains. Those of you who are anti-vax and pro-vax, who don't understand strategic nutrition, you are the ones that are causing all of these mutated strains, which is then resulting in new diseases. So if you truly want to blame someone, blame yourself if you're actively aging and you're actively managing your cancer, disease, and chronic illness. You are handicapped. Blame yourself if you truly want to blame somebody for all of these mutations in these diseases that warrant, again, the vaccine schedule. This is a reflection of humanity's ignorance of their own body and why you're seeing people dropping like flies at an earlier and earlier age, because they never fixed the mutations from their predecessors, and then biochemistry creates and mutates into a new strain. The ones that are active in your body. When you get a titer test, that is the moment of truth. That is your part in this matter. When you get a titer test and you're testing positive for everything, which you have to show protection to your government, but that also tells you how pathogenic you are, which means you can't go and be a missionary into these pristine areas like in the middle of the Atlantic on some deserted island with a bunch of natives, because you're so pathogenic. This is what escapes people who don't understand how disease gets mutated. I used to think it was biotech that created all these different strains. But no, they're testing. What they're doing is they're seeing that these diseases are mutating, okay? And when they're mutating, then you have to go find other elements, then go and try to mitigate the destruction. But yeah, you're now dealing with mutated bodies that created this to begin with. So yeah, you're going to have other issues. You're going to have side effects because it's going to impact other processes in your body because you don't understand what the hell you're doing. But you want to have that instant relief. You want to have the pain-free. You want to be symptom-free. You want to block the prostaglandin hormone, which aids in the healing process. You want to take all your drugs. Well, guess what? All of your belief systems are resulting in this. Your belief systems of shortcuts is what caused this to happen to begin with. So blame yourself. If you're aging, you created this. If you're a grandma who's anti-vax, you need to blame yourself, not the anti-vaxxers, because you created the reasoning for this, grandma. If you're anti-vax, grandma. We got to shoot for the middle. You know, kids get a chance to actually grow up and be balanced or imbalanced. And if you're aging, grandma, then you're basically showing your kids how to, be healthy for a minute and then degrade and become imbalanced and then contribute to the vaccine schedule. So what really should happen is that you should reach middle age and just stay there. You start degrading, guess what? Your diseases are mutating. And then guess what? Those are already in your kids, who then creates other kids. And then guess what? We have a new fucking strain of measles. So blame yourself, aging people. Blame yourself, unhealthy people. If you're so anti-vax and you're so anti-disease, blame yourself. You're creating this tinderbox. It's not the government. It's all of you. Okay, so you might as well do J-Juice. Get off your high horse and say, oh, the vaccines are so horrible. No, you created the reason for that. The pro-vaxxers too, because guess what? The reason why we have it to begin with, because we have all this crazy disease because people aren't taking care of themselves. No matter what. That coal miner who doesn't believe in any vaccinations or doesn't even know about vaccinations, they're the ones that are creating the reason why we have them to begin with, why we have natural immunity for the holistic people. They're the ones that are creating that reasoning. So no matter what, forget if you don't have any vaccines in the world and you have unhealthy people, they're the ones that are going to create the bubonic plague. Yeah, Ma. So humans don't realize how nasty they are until they actually they look in the mirror and then they want to blame. This is the mirror that you're looking in. This is the mirror, humanity. This is what you've created. So instead of making this a longer list, which we're going to see, we really should be shooting for what's up here, which is hardly anything. Oh, but no. You got to have your drugs, you got to have your cannabis, you got to have your detox, you got to have your lobster or whatever the hell it is that you're chumming for today. No, nobody wants to fix the mutations. They want the shortcuts, and they want to blame someone why it is that we have to go get everybody inoculated. Well, that guy in the coal mine who doesn't take care of himself is going to have now another mutated lung disease. And they're exposed to other people in the population. Oh yeah, it's crazy. See, now we're bringing this finally back to center. We're taking away the divide and conquer that really isn't divisive. I mean, it's divisive, but they're not any different. Okay, so either you're pro-life or you're anti-life. There's no in between. Pro-life means 100% grandma is able to live, and so does baby. It's not, oh yeah, grandma can die and give us all these mutated diseases and then blame the people who aren't vaccinated. No, grandma and the practice of killing off grandma is what causes this to begin with. Diseases mutate with mutated people who are aging in the population. Kids that are full of diseases today, who are not fixing the mutation, they're just as pathogenic as grandma. Every generation is more pathogenic than the next because no one's fixed the mutation. And those diseases shapeshift. And then we all want to blame people. Well, pro-vax and anti-vax are just as guilty as each other. Pro-vax and anti-vax people are just as guilty as contributing to the reasoning behind this, because nobody is fixing the mutation. So it keeps shape-shifting. And then we're going to have some weird-ass exotic disease. Serious. So unhealthy people who are aging, you are to blame for the vaccine schedule. You chew on that. You play with the pills, powders, and supplements, and detoxes, and kombuchas, and the vinegars, and the colloidal silvers, and the spices, and the alkaline, and all of that, and the different trendy diets like the keto diet and all that, you are contributing to this vaccine schedule. You are. So no, you don't escape any of this. For those of you that are holistic, trendy, vegan, you're just as guilty as the carnivore who's contributing to the mutations in our society. So if you're aging, you are the reason behind this. If you are managing your cancer disease and chronic illness with all the different antibiotics and trendy stuff and detoxes and whatever, you are contributing to the mutations of disease. You are contributing to this. You are solely responsible for this. So you better start regenerating your cells and fixing mutations. If not, then you have no leg to stand on with your activism. Absolutely none, zero, zilch. I didn't want to hear about your politics. I really don't. Your politics means zero to me when you're actually actively contributing to this. So get on J-Juice, fix the mutations, face the shit that you wanted to compound with all of your little pills and stuff, and reverse those mutations, fix the mutations, keep those antibodies at bay, keep your cancer candida at bay, get your hormones well balanced so you're not contributing to the vaccine schedule. So those of you that are still playing in the system, that have gone off of Jelly Juice, yes, you are contributing to the mutations in our society. You are solely responsible. So either you take accountability and take care of yourself really, truly, or shut the fuck up. STFU. You can't play both sides of the fence and think that, yeah, you're absolved of any responsibility. No, you get off at J-Juice and you keep drinking Starbucks, you keep playing in the system, and then you're wondering why it is your body is degrading. Well, because you're not taking personal accountability. Get everything completely reversed, 100 self, well balanced, and then you can play with the different elements. But other than that, no, you have no leg to stand on if you're actively aging, managing disease, and being like an activist. None, zero. You are contributing to the mutations in our society and all the diseases. Unhealthy people are. The professors at universities are contributing to the diseases in our society. The politicians that are aging are contributing to the mutations in our society. All the naturopathics who are aging are contributing to the mutations in our society. Dr. Tenpenny, Charlotte Gerson, all of those with great intentions are contributing to the mutations of diseases in our society. So there you go. This is pretty black and white. Very black and white. So yeah, you can hate me all you want. Like, oh, Jillian, she's not a doctor. She's not this. She's not that. Hey, you know what? Where has doctors gotten you when it comes to mutations? Because you go to your doctor, which is great. They stabilize you. But guess what? They're not trying to stop you from dying, maybe today. But at some point when your body gives out because of your belief system, the doctor can't save you because that's not what he does. He can only stabilize you, and then guess what? They put you in hospice when they can't do anything else for you. When your belief system finally got you to the point where you're so mutated, and when you're in hospice, you are actually contributing to more of the mutations of the disease, and your kids who have inherited your mutations now have a mutated form of that disease, of that strain that they are spreading around, and they're having kids who have another mutated version of that strain of disease. And guess what? We have new diseases on the market to go and fight against. It's the aging population and the dying population and the mutated sick people, the unhealthy people who are contributing to the degradation of our society that basically make up this, that warrant this. There you go. Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.